Hi, I'm Dodo60 and welcome to another Sims 4 house building episode. Game? Video? Video. Yeah, house build video. So I got the idea for this particular house build, which you'll see from the title is a converted shipyard, is the idea and the theme for this home conversion. I was driving, I've been on holiday recently in Switzerland and Germany, and we were like driving down this river and there were all these really cute little old warehouses that had been converted to homes just on the riverbank, and I just thought, how absolutely beautiful. I will have a crack at building one of those in Sims, which is what this video is. Yay! You will notice, however, because there is no terrain tool in Sims, that I could not build just a river. And also because there's no kind of terrained maps and none of the lots go through any of the inbuilt water sources on Sims, which is again incredibly frustrating. So because of that, I've had to build this little kind of fountain pond thing in the garden, which I'm afraid you're gonna have to just use your imaginations on this one and pretend that it is a like a river or like on a lake or something, on a river or on the ocean. I am building in Windenburg, the new, what do you call it? Not the new one. You know the map with all the really beautiful little old like Tudor style houses. It's in that world, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. I don't really build in here very often, but I do absolutely love it. So most of this video, genuinely like the majority of the time, it took me like 2.5 hours to build this home. And most of that is just the outside. The inside is really, really tiny. It really didn't take very long at all to furnish or decorate. I mean, you'll see, I like to mess around a bit. It took me a while, but it didn't take ages at all. The outside took me absolutely forever to get it looking how I wanted. I was like spending ages. You might see, hopefully I've edited them all out, but you might see that I've pause building a couple of times to go and get Google Images up. I have Google Images up on my other screen, and I was trying to find ones that looked how I wanted them to look so I could try and get a bit of a better idea, but I really couldn't find any, so I pretty much just based this off my memory from when we were in Switzerland. And I think they have them all over the world. I've seen this kind of thing in England as well. Yeah, it's just a lovely idea. Why waste a beautiful old warehouse when you can turn it into a stunning 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home? Which is exactly what I've done. So this house is available to download on the gallery. I will put the link down below, or you can search hashtag Dodo60 or converted or shipyard or any of that stuff. Or if you would like to find my origin ID, that is Lottie Strawberry, all one word. And then you'll be able to find all of my builds, including this one. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I'm pleased with how it turned out. The inside is very kind of traditional and sort of rustic, and I went for lots of kind of old ship related memorabilia and fixer-uppers and stuff. Well, not fixer-uppers, like bits and bobs and trinkets. I wanted it to look like some of the items that existed when this was a working shipyard have still been included in the house or in the home. So I did try and get all the kind of oceany, seafarer, adventurer kind of items that come in Sims. I did try and include as many of those as I could on the inside. But what that does mean is that the inside is not modern at all. It is not, it's not even really nicely traditional. It is kind of cluttered and a bit shit really on the inside. So if you are looking for a fixer-upper, again, I spent so long on the outside. I'm really, really pleased with how the outside came out. The only thing that would have made it better for me is if I could have actually made that fountain a proper river using terrain tools, which do not exist in Sims. Why not? So I would love to have terrain tools to make that a proper river, and I would love to have been able to connect it to that water source that you can see behind. So you can see, because where I built it is really near the ocean. So I guess you can just pretend that there used to be what they called a meander in the river. The river or the ocean used to meander into this lot, and this is just a leftover bit of it. And maybe it meandered back out, and that's why the shipyard is no longer in use. Maybe that's what you could say. I think terrain tools are something I would love to see on Sims. Yeah. But I don't know if that'll happen, or if it will, how long. So I did want to get a couple of kind of shippy items in the, like, on the water or near the water, as sort of relics of, like, when this used to be a shipyard that just haven't yet been tidied up. So you can see I've got a canal boat. I think it's a toy. It's either a toy or a decorative item that I've just scaled up. And I've also got the pirate jungle gym, which I thought was a bit of fun. So I've got those two, which are the canal boat I have scaled up. The jungle gym is just as is. I don't think it's usable because of where I placed it and how much stuff is around it. But it is, I don't know, I think they look, I'm really pleased with how they came out. And you can see I put loads and loads of flowers and shrubs and plants and like some of those dead rose bushes and brambles from the vampires stuff pack? Game pack? I think it's a game pack. So I put loads and loads of brambles and kind of run down bits on both of them to make them look like really old. I think I do go through later as well and add cobwebs and stuff too. I really wanted this whole house to look like it has been, or this barn shipyard to look like it has been sat on the edge of this river that's no longer an edge of a river and just has a little pond in the background for absolutely donks. It's just been sat there, no one's using it, and someone's coming on and been like, I'll buy it really cheaply. I'll reuse most of the items that are already in there and either clean them up a little bit or just not. And someone who's come in with a very, very low budget and has done this up into a house, but they haven't put tons of effort into it. So the outside, well, for me this meant I put a lot of effort into the outside, and the inside came together much faster, I felt. So you can see I've got this little kind of, the main living area is basically all one space. I do put a corridor in a minute, and that leads to a wall, but then I use the wall and I put archways like almost the whole way along it. So the bathroom is downstairs because I didn't really think it would fit very nicely upstairs. And then the whole downstairs is basically one living space, basically one room. It's all open plan. Because these shipyards would have needed a lot of space to do their ship works, right? I don't know what a ship work is, but I assume that they would have needed a lot of space to do their ship works. So I don't think that it's unreasonable that they would have had, what's the word I'm looking for? That it would have been like all open on the inside. And also that I believe, my understanding of ships is that you build them in the shipyard and then you kind of tow them out into the water when they're done. That's my understanding. Could be completely wrong. Let me know if I am. Probably. And so that's why I decided to do that little dip down bit into what is now the kitchen. Because I figured that there probably would have been a bit where they do all the building on the normal bit and then they have to like dig down into the ground a little bit so that they can then slide the boat out into the water easier. So that's why I've done that dip down bit in the kitchen. Also because I think it looks cool and I wanted to do it. Which is probably mostly the reason I did it. But I just think it looks really, really cool. And with the lighting, again, I wanted to go sort of in keeping with the style of the house, but not like dingy and dark like lots of the older lights are. So I really like how those little circular lights go up the stairs. I just think they look really, really cool. And also I have like very similar lights in my own home. I have little circular lights that go all the way up our staircase, and they're super cute and I like it. The kitchen I did do up in a slightly more modern-y feel. Yeah, well, a kind of industrial. Again, this was on the basis that there wouldn't have been like a kitchen area in this warehouse, right? It would have been, it would have been all work tables and workspaces. As I don't think shipping builders necessarily spend an awful lot of their time preparing gourmet dinners whilst they're at work. Maybe they do at home, that's their business. So this whole kitchen has all been bought in. You can see I'm putting like little trinkets and stuff in, like little shipping memorabilia, which in my head, these were bits and bobs that were found in the abandoned warehouse. They weren't bought by whoever owns this house. So I decided to do the kitchen up really kind of modern, well not modern, really kind of, oh I've forgotten the word, I just said it, industrial, yeah, because they're trying to do it as cheaply as possible. And I know these aren't the cheapest counters. I've not designed this as a starter home. I think the full lot value ended up being over 100,000 simoleons, so it's not a cheap home at all. And I wasn't designing it to be a cheap home because I wanted to put lots of stuff in it and it to be really cute. So maybe if you actually just bought it without any stuff in it, unfurnished, it actually maybe wouldn't be as expensive. I don't know. I'm not sure. So my theory of this is that these industrial counters, they kind of look like you could probably salvage them or something relatively cheaply. So that's why I chose them, was because I thought whoever owned it, they've refitted the kitchen, but that's basically the kitchen. I think they've refitted the bathroom. All they've done really is add a shower. I think the toilet and the sink were probably there already. They just added in a shower so they could clean themselves. But the kitchen's the only real new room. I think the little attic room that I turned into a bedroom later on it was like a storage area or something up there, and they've just, you know, stuck their bed and desk up there. So I really feel like this house is good for a sim who is probably very antisocial, just because of how the lot's laid out. I did also select some lot traits for it. Ooh, exciting. I often forget to do that, which I think is one of my favourite aspects of the was it the city living or apartment living, whatever it's called, that one. It came with the apartment or lot traits, which is one of my favorite aspects of that game pack. That was a full-on expansion, wasn't it? Yeah, I just loved it. I think that's brilliant, such a good idea, and we've never had it before, brand new, loved it. And so I always forget to do it on my builds. I always do them when I'm playing. You can always change them, of course. I think the traits I set for this lot were the one where it gets dirty really easily, because it's an ancient warehouse. Come on, not ancient, it's an old warehouse that's been abandoned and left for years to just get more and more decrepit and awful. Of course it gets dirty easily. It's not going to be modern and sleek and easy to clean, no. And then I think it's also got bracing breezes, because I imagine this on the shore, on a river, so it's going to have quite a lot of wind. You get a lot of wind in that part of town. And then I think the final one was natural light or something like that, because you see that huge window I put in at the end. It's actually like 4 windows over 2 floors. It's 3 windows on the bottom floor and then 1 window on the top. That huge window is just absolutely gorgeous, and I imagine it brings loads of light into the whole house. I think the direction I've actually positioned this lot, it doesn't bring in tons of light, ironically, but I imagine that it does. So maybe it will if you place it in your own worlds. It'll match better. The archways on the outside, right, so when I was looking up pictures of the shipyards, they always had these massive doors. I guess I could have put a garage door in or something there, but they always had these massive doors for where the ships actually go in and out. And I decided to replicate this with archways. Thinking about it, I maybe could have done garage doors, but I really like the effect of the archways in the end. But I didn't really want them to be usable. They're not really archways there to be used. They're like leftover relics. So you might have seen in the beginning, you'll see in the screenshots at the end, I put in like some of those little slats. I think they're actually like air conditioning vents or something, but I put them in down the side to try and make them look like shutters or like sliding bits where these doors would have been when it was originally a shipyard. And so that's what I've put these archways and the stuff on the outside in. And then I put the wall dividers, I think from the restaurant or eating out, dine out expansion. I think it was a full expansion from the dine out thing. I put those across them, only partially on the other one, the one in the sitting room I fully closed over, just to block them off, but I want them to still be there. So if I try to put a wall or something through it, which is what I actually would want to do, because clearly they've been bricked up, no one's going to leave these gaping holes in the side of their house. It would have, if I put a wall in there, it would have just got rid of it. So I wanted them to still be there, which is why I put these wall divider things in. I did leave the one in the kitchen half open, so that you can still get in and out there, and there's a cute little side passage exit, I guess, there, so you can get down to the garden. Although that side of the garden's really got nothing on it, so I'm not sure why you'd want to go there. But I don't know, these old shipyards, they probably had like loads of ways in and out. They probably had like, they would have been built along a full bank, and there would have been like warehouse after warehouse after warehouse, all next to each other, all stacked up. Obviously you can't do that in Sims at the moment. Hopefully they'll make something like it later on. But right now that's not a feature. Would be nice if it was. So that's what I was kind of thinking, that they probably would have had lots of little walkways and little tricky bits to get in and out of. The upstairs bedroom, I really wanted it to feel super, super light and airy and just like a retreat. The rest of the house is really kind of dingy, not dingy, but it's so full of old stuff that it's not really that, I don't know, I didn't really like it. I wouldn't want to live in this. I wouldn't live in it. Maybe if you download it, you could like do it up and renovate it. If you do, please do send me pictures on Twitter or Instagram or anything. Dodo60 on both. Yeah, that'd be really cool actually if you did convert it. Yeah, so I did want this top bit to feel really a lot more open and airy, and like this is where the person spends most of their time. So by the time I got to this point, obviously you can put whatever Sims you want in this lot if you do download it and play it. But I kind of imagined it, the person who lives in this house is probably male, probably quite artistic, probably a bit of a loner, and they just want to be out in their shipyard all day painting or playing their instruments or writing, just something quite creative. So you can see I put all the things in there. I don't think they're all usable. You probably have to shuffle them around based on what you wanted your sim to do. So yeah, that's why I kind of imagined it, and that's why I went for those really, really lovely curtains from the Parenthood game pack, stuff pack, expansion pack, the Parenthood one. Which are some of my favourite curtains. I went for really kind of flimsy ones because it's quite high up there. No one's going to be able to look in. They're not really after privacy in that top room. What you just want. I just want it to feel so light and open and beautiful. So I'm really, really happy with the bedroom actually. The bedroom is one of my favourite parts of this house. It's probably where I would hang out the most if this was my house. Anything to avoid the clutter and junk of downstairs. And I imagine it kind of smells a bit of mould and stuff. Yeah. I don't know, I'm really pleased with how this house came out. I think it looks really cool and everything, but I'm just not sure I want to live in it. I was trying to get something on the end of that pier just to make it look a bit more pier-like, but oh well. And now we are into the screenshots. So we're going to go around the outside of the house. You'll get a good look at that pond slash cut-off river slash cut-off bit of ocean or whatever it is. I put loads of sand around the outsides. You might have seen when I was building it at the beginning of the video to try and make it feel a bit like beachy or realistic, like it's actually anywhere near the ocean. And I really, really just love the whole, like all the scenery. The views from this house are just stunning. They are absolutely gorgeous. The views over Windenburg, I'm sure it's Windenburg or Windberg, something like that. Just looks absolutely gorgeous. You can see in the screenshots I've put cracks and scuff marks and just wear and tear all over this building. It's ancient, it's kind of falling down. It's not going to last significantly longer, but it's not dead yet. It's still going strong. And yeah, there's like, I put cobwebs. I didn't put any in the attic room, but I put cobwebs in all the rest of the house and on all the outside stuff to try and make it, again, look really, really dirty and grotty. And I really love how those arches look from that corridor. You obviously can't go through all of them because of where I placed some of the stuff, but I just think it's, again, it's very likely, for me, it's very likely in the original house there would have been a small corridor where everyone walked along, but then you also would have to be able to get in and out very easily. So for me, those archways make complete sense. The kitchen, again, it's not my favourite part of the house. That is definitely the bedroom. But I'm really pleased with how it's come out, and I think it makes sense given the build. You clearly can't actually reach all of those counters because of the placements, but I think it's really cool. And the bedroom is definitely my favourite room of the house. I think it's just so airy and gorgeous, and that view out of that big old window is just incredible. And I would live in that bedroom. Then we have the floor plans of the ground floor and the top floor. You see the little sunken kitchen and that lovely, lovely little bedroom. And thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!